Today's top stories. Former President Estrada urges supporters to stay calm as he faces judgment tomorrow. Traders' jitters send the peso and stocks tumbling. The Supreme Court stopped the national broadband deal. On ABC reports, memories of the Estrada years from the poor.
Kailanman hindi niya kinalimutan ang masang Pilipino na naglagay sa kanya sa taas. Walang presidente na lumingon sa pinanggalingan, kundi si Presidente Estrada lang yun.
And on Lifestyle Check, comedian Maverick's adult hang-ups. Biggest day in court, former President Joseph Estrada seemed prepared to accept whatever verdict the Sandigan Bayan hands out. He also called on his supporters to remain calm whichever way the decision goes. Sherian Torres has that story.
Senate reporters had a chance to talk with deposed President Joseph Estrada over the phone when he called his son, Senator Jinggoy Estrada, in the middle of an interview. He called on his supporters to remain calm, regardless of the Sandigan Bayan's verdict on his cases.
Be calm, whatever the decision is.
Estrada says there is nothing to be afraid of in tomorrow's promulgation, since he has already been acquitted by the Filipino people. Jinggoy denounced the supposed overkill in security preparations and assured any kind of trouble will not start from their camp.
Punot dulo nito ay ang takot ni Ginang Arroyo sa magiging reaksyon ng mamamayan. Baka raw magkagulo, samantalang ang gulo naman lagi nag-uumpisa sa Malacanang.
Earlier, Erap also sent a recorded voice message to various media organizations in which he insisted on his innocence.
Hindi lamang ako basta pinaaresto at ikinulong. Ako ay kanila pang hiniya at kinasuhan ng kasong pandarambong o plunder upang masiguro po nila na walang piyansa ako at patuloy akong makukulong. Habang kong nililitis ang aking kaso, ako'y pinaglipat-lipat na kung saan-saang kulungan.
Estrada says he is more concerned about the freedom of the Filipino people than his own life.
Ang tangi ko pong hangad ay makatawid ang ating bansa sa kahirapan at maging malaya ang mamamayan sa paghahanap ng katotohanan.
Erap's former lawyer Alan Pagia, who was suspended by the Supreme Court for castigating the High Court justices for siding with President Arroyo, says he is convinced Erap will be found guilty.
Sirkus yan. Palabas yan ni Mrs. Arroyo para mapagtakpan yung panlilinlang, yung pagdakma ng kapangyarihan na ginawa niya.
If acquitted, Estrada plans to go straight to church and pray, then proceed to his home in Polk Street and retire quietly as an elder statesman. Sherian Torres, ABC News.
The Supreme Court has allowed the live airing of the promulgation of Estrada's plunder case at the Sandigan Bayan tomorrow. Jason Torres with the details. Supreme Court of the Philippines.
It was a unanimous decision after a 5-hour en banc session that discussed the KBP's urgent motion appealing the Sandigan Bayan's earlier refusal to allow live coverage of the proceedings. In its appeal, the KBP underlined the public's right to speedy information, especially when the accused is a former president being charged with plundering billions of pesos. But SC spokesman Attorney Midas Marquez clarifies that the resolution is not a complete reversal of the anti-graft court's earlier decision barring TV cameras inside the courtroom.
Only the video camera of the Supreme Court Public Information Office shall be allowed inside the courtroom at a place to be designated by the presiding justice of the court of the Sandigan Bayan. Only SCPIO personnel shall be allowed to operate the video camera. TV and radio stations shall be allowed to hook up with a video camera of the SCPIO, and they shall in turn allow other stations to hook up with them.
Very good. In fact, during my testimony, we are asking the Supreme Court to televise it live.
Though TV networks will be able to broadcast the actual promulgation, there will only be one camera in the courtroom, and it will only focus on the court personnel reading the decision the whole time. The camera won't even be allowed to take videos of Estrada and his reactions, and the camera will stop rolling immediately after the whole decision is read.
The people have the right to know the decision of the court. So we're going to limit it to that particular aspect of decision.
The live coverage will be under the control of the Special Division's presiding justice at all times. Jason Torres, ABC News.
Estrada was tried on 4 cases of plunder and a perjury charge in the past 6 years. At ABC Reports, our correspondent Naomi Dayrit takes another look at the alleged crimes that Erap is accused of committing during his short-lived presidency.
In just 31 months in office, Joseph Estrada supposedly accumulated 4 billion pesos in kickbacks, payoffs, and other sources of ill-gotten wealth. This basically is the main charge that the Sandigan Bayan is set to decide on Wednesday, after a trial that has dragged on for 6 years and polarized a nation. The charges can be divided into 2. The charge of plunder, which under the law means accumulating more than 50 million pesos through public office, and perjury or lying under oath. Prosecutors have tied their case to the claims by Ilocos Governor Chavez Singson that Estrada accepted bribes of 545 million pesos from wetting operations. Estrada's longtime compadre testified that he gave the president 5 to 10 million pesos from wetting collections every 15 days from September 1998 to August 2000. These were recorded in a ledger that Singson presented at the Senate impeachment trial and at the Sandigan Bayan. The money supposedly went to a dummy corporation, the Erap Muslim Youth Foundation, put up by Estrada's lawyer and co-accused Edward Serapio. Singson's secretary Emma Lim also testified that she received millions in weapon collections from Jinggoy Estrada on at least 3 occasions, and how she delivered 5 million pesos to the presidential palace and handed the money to Estrada's secretary Malu Torrendo. Defense lawyers countered that Singson was angered by Estrada's decision to give a local gambling contract to Singson's rival in Ilocos. The second case, that Erap received 130 million pesos from Ilocos' tobacco excise tax collection, again through Chavez Singson. The defense countered Singson was just covering up his own misappropriations. Thirdly, Estrada is charged with using GSIS and SSS money to buy shares of Bell Corporation and earn for himself 189.7 million pesos in commissions. The charge is backed by testimony from then SSS President Carlos Arellano and GSIS President Federico Pascual that Estrada instructed them to invest in Bell Corporation. In defense, Estrada says the purchases were valid and that he never received any money from the deal. And lastly, prosecutors accuse Estrada of keeping 3 billion pesos in bank accounts under the name Jose Velarde. Equitable Senior Vice President Clarissa Ocampo testified that she witnessed Estrada sign bank documents 15 times using the name Jose Velarde in Malacanang. Erap admits using the alias Jose Velarde, but claimed this was upon the request of his friend Jaime de Chavez to serve as a guarantor. Money from this account was supposed to have been used to buy the infamous 142 million peso Boracay mansion in New Manila. It is not clear how the Velarde account accumulated 3 billion pesos, but under the law, if a public official cannot explain his source of wealth, it is automatically deemed ill-gotten. The secondary charge against Estrada is for perjury. All public officials are required to submit a statement of assets and liabilities yearly. The Ombudsman found out that the former president falsified his 1999 SAL, paving the way for the filing of perjury charges against him. The crime of plunder used to be punishable with death.
but is now merely punishable with life imprisonment. Perjury itself is punishable by only 6 years, roughly the amount of time the former president has already spent in jail. 6 years and 100 witnesses later, the most controversial criminal trial has finally drawn to a close. But whether the issue itself will find closure may be a different matter. Naomi Dayrit, ABC News.
The peso and the stock market already took a beating.